Hello UCE parents, youth, children, guests. Welcome to this month's Soulful Home video. Our theme this month is becoming. First, let me introduce myself. My name is Kathy Underwood and I'm the Director of Lifespan Religious Education at the Unitarian Church of Evanston. This month our theme is becoming, as I said. And our Soulful Home packet is written by Teresa Honey Youngblood. First, I'm going to light a chalice. Teresa starts our Soulful Home packet with a message to parents about our theme of becoming. She asks, how has becoming a parent affected you? I'm sure there are a lot of things that come to mind right away. Some a little more expected than others, perhaps. Teresa writes about a friend who has a quote on a business card that says, "Change is inevitable, growth is optional." Do you think that's true? And is becoming always from growth? Or can we become without growth? So, some questions to ponder right off the bat. This week, we're going to focus on two segments of our packet, at the table and on the message board. First, at the table is a series of questions that you can share with your family over a meal, usually dinner, but it doesn't have to be. Some of the questions that struck me as interesting ones to talk about and share. First was, whose example has helped you become who you are? And who has helped you become the kind of person you want to be? Another question she poses is, when do we stop becoming? Do we ever stop becoming? She also asks, a lot of people believe that we become another living thing after we die, or in other words, reincarnation. If that were true, what would you most want to become and why? And the last question that I wanted to focus on was about how this year we've all, of course, experienced COVID, which has been an unusual experience and circumstance in our history. So the question is a bit obvious, perhaps, but one that should require a little bit of thinking. And that is, how has this year with COVID changed you? What have you become as a result of this past year? So share your thoughts on those questions, and feel free to look at the packet, and there are more questions that you can explore with your family in there, and you can spread them out over the course of the entire month. You don't have to do them all at the same time, of course. Our last segment for this week is on the message board, and this month's message is, who am I becoming right now? And this is a thought of how growing pains, whether they're physical, emotional, or spiritual, change us over time. And we tend to think a little more on the emotional and spiritual in our Soulful Home packet rather than the physical. And in the packet, Teresa has an example of a parent who is at a high school track meet and happens to see a friend or an acquaintance and mentions to this friend how they were frustrated with not being able to visit colleges and universities during this COVID year with their youth who's in high school. And the acquaintance kindly, although perhaps a little snidely, points out that you are a little stuck in your educational privilege and that you're prioritizing your discomfort with not being able to visit schools over those people who obviously have a little more concern with their health and safety issues. And your first instinct may be, whoa, a little bit defensive. So instead of being defensive, she challenges us to use our mantra, who am I becoming right now? To take a breath and then just picture perhaps something that's transforming and becoming. Perhaps a chrysalis becoming a butterfly, or a baby chick hatching from an egg. And to kind of picture that as a way to calm ourselves and resist that urge to be defensive right away. And she challenges us to do this whenever we feel our buttons being pushed. Knowing that when our buttons are being pushed, it is a challenge for us to become better people. It is said that if you feel that your button is being pushed, it's probably for something that is not a quality you admire within yourself. So that makes it even more important to focus on that and try and change that about ourselves, as well as our reactions when our button gets pushed. And so that concludes this week's Soulful Home Packet. Until then, enjoy the warmer spring-like weather and a happy Easter this week. And if you can, check out the virtual Easter egg hunt. You will find a link on our website and in the newsletter. So until next week, blessed be.